Hi, we're here on this wonderful Wednesday evening. We welcome everybody back after a long Baruch Hashem delay. We hope everybody's well. I'm shocked that I'm able to be here today, Baruch Hashem. And I hope Pesach was good with everyone. Yes, I hope it was elevating and uplifting. I personally had an amazing Pesach. And it's fast gone. And we're a week after Pesach already. We're already in the 14th day of the Omer. Today is 14 days of the Omer, which is 2 weeks. We're in Malchus of Gevura. Gevura is severity. That was the work of this week. What it means is discipline. That's what we dealt with. So I hope everybody was nice and disciplined with the sushi and the shawarma and the soy sauce and duck sauce and sweet sauce and hot sauce and everything else. Yes, I'm talking to myself here. How was your discipline this week?
What, Pesach?
No. Your self-control.
No Wednesday night class, so.
Okay. Now.
That's what I said.
Sorry.
You're welcome to join us.
No, you're good, Rabbi.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you. Now. It's a new generation.
No, but Rabbi, the way they were eating is that all the food's on the floor. It's like, I even picked up a few pieces of bread. I don't know, I think someone should speak to them.
I'm going to speak to them. The
rabbi has to force them to get in the shear. Like what?
Okay. We are this week studying Parashat Tazriah and Mitzorah. It's a double parasha. Tazriah deals with a lady who gives birth. 7 days she's not pure. Eventually she becomes pure. She has a brit milah for her baby boy. She gives birth to a baby girl. It's double the purity process, meaning the days of Tahara are double and the days of Tum'ah are also double. We're going very quickly because we're getting into the point of our class. This week mainly deals with Tzarat. Tzarat is a skill ailment. Person says something wrong, says something extra, says Lashon Hara, he gets sick, he gets Tzarat. Tzarat is a form of leprosy, or it's not really leprosy, but it's close to leprosy. And the Torah says that a person who has on his skin Se'et or Sapahat, he has tzarad, he has to come to Aaron the Kohen. And we have to understand, why does he have to come to Aaron of all people? Why to Aaron? Why not to somebody else? Why not to Moses?
He's a Kohen.
You hear the question? Why to a Kohen? Or one of his children, the Kohanim, and the Kohen has to look at the nega, the ailment on the skin, and if the שיער בנגע הפך לבן ומראה הנגע עמוק מהעור בשרו נגע צרעת הוא וראו הכהן וטימא אותו. The Kohen shall see him and pronounce him impure. Why? He has a skill ailment. Who decides? The Kohen decides. Okay. Next, the Torah speaks about tzarad that's on the flesh of a man. He comes to a Kohen. The Kohen, he looks at him. If he sees that it's doubtful, he puts him into a hezger. He locks him up for a week or two.
Where?
And for a week in his house. He comes a week later, he looks at him again. And after he sees that everything is good with him, nice clap. After he sees that everything is good with him, what happens?
He could come back.
He pronounces him tahor, and if not, he puts him another week. And if he decides he's impure, he has to go through a long impurity. He has to sit alone outside of the camp.
So it's basically house arrest?
It's called hitubodedut. Quarantine is the right word. Badad yeshev, he sits outside alone. Not allowed to mingle with anybody, not allowed to sit close to anybody. You have to sit far away. And you have to call out, I am impure, I am impure. Why do you have to do that? Some explanations on a spiritual level is once a person gets such a sickness, the pipes in Shamayim close, his mazal closes. To get a sickness like that means you're in dinim, you're in judgment, and your prayer is not going where it's supposed to get. When a person's in a constricted state, he's in a state of katnut, a state of constrictedness. Tefillot are very hard to get through. But most people don't feel constricted or broad because we're not attuned to our neshama. But some people, you look at them and they feel when they're in a state of katnut, they feel something's very off, something's closed off. They cannot explain what, but they understand what's going on. And to get yourself out of that situation takes a lot of work. Contrary to when a person's in a broad state of consciousness, he feels everything is open, the shefa is open, wow. On a day like that, whatever he touches is golden, it's green, he could learn Penimiyut Torah, he can learn unbelievable things. His mind is open, in the Neshama Shoev Kiddusha. Unbelievable what you can pray for, what you can attain in such a state of mind. That Sarua is closed. He has to say to everybody who close to him, I'm tameh, don't come close. Why? Simple understanding, because we don't want that he should be madbiq, he should give over his tum'ah to others. Deeper understanding is he's not able to pray for himself. He prays for himself, but he's in a state of lockup. Closed, the shefa. So he needs other people to request mercy from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to open up his channels, to open up his spiritual sasudi, and therefore they me'orer hamim alav. They put mercy onto him. Now the Torah continues. והייתה מחיית בהרת לבנה דמדמת ולבנה speaks about when the tzarat is on the head, it's on the beard, all these different situations of tzarat. Then it continues and goes onto the clothing. When clothing has tzarat, the kohen should come, he looks at it, and finally the tzarat of the house. That's parashat Tazriah. Tazriah is all of the impurity of the tzarua, the process of proclaiming him pure or impure. Metzorah is already when he's musgar. Zoti Torah Metzorah. This is the Torah of the Metzorah. Beyom Tahoroto v'huvah el HaKohen, he has to come to a Kohen. Again, everything's to do with a Kohen. Why have to come to a Kohen so much? You hear the question?
This is basically part 2 Tazriah.
Part 2 Tazriah. This is the purity of the tzarua. In Parashat Tazriah, he became impure. In Parashat Metzorah, it's how to become pure. The Torah writes, V'tziva HaKohen, the Kohen shall command, they shall take Lamitaher, 2 birds, which is the topic of tonight's lecture. Hayot, Tehorot. Let's see what Rashi says. Hayot, Prat letrefot. They have to be alive. Okay. Also, they have to be, you have to take these birds, you have to take an Etz Erez, tree, cedar wood. Very good, Tzadiq. Ushni tolat, red, crimson wool, ve'ezov, and
Purple
little
one?
hyssop. What's a hyssop? It's a little plant. You take it. V'tziva HaKohen, they take 1 bird and they slaughter it into a kli heres, and they put inside of it living waters from a well. Then they take the 2nd bird, ואת עץ הארז, ואת שני התולעת, ואת האזוב, וטבל אותם, ואת הציפור החיה בדם הציפור, השחותה על המים החיים. You take the bird, you take the hyssop, you take the cedar, you take all of it, you dip it into the water. You sprinkle it onto the tzarua, onto the guy who's with a skin ailment 7 times. You make him pure. Now what happens to the 2nd bird? ושילח את הציפור החיה על פני השדה. You send the 2nd bird to go free. And the question is, I don't understand something.
The point.
Why did you need the 2nd bird? You had 2 birds. One you slaughtered, you took its blood, you put it in, you took some water, you put it, you dipped it inside, you sprinkled it on him. I understand why you needed the 1st bird. Why do you need the 2nd bird? Ah, wait, we need to behave. Why do you need a 2nd bird? You hear the question? Why do I need? That's the question, and that's the topic of tonight. He has to go dip his clothing in the mikveh. He has to shave his head fully, his whole body. He shaves. He has to come into a mikveh. Then he can come into the mahaneh. He's not allowed to go home. Again, he has to shave.
What if it's the Omer?
And his beard, ואת גבות עיניו, his eyebrows, ואת כל שערו יגלח ויכבס את בגדיו, ורחץ את בשרו מהמים ואת עיניו. He has to dip again, even in the Omer. He dips, he shaves, and now he is free to go. The question is like this, Rabbi Isai. Why do I need 2 birds? You have 1 bird that you slaughter, you put its blood into a basin. Put mayim chayim, you dip the hyssop, sprinkle it. Moshe, 1st bird, I get it. You needed its blood. What's the 2nd bird doing? You send it free, so what was the point of bringing it?
Maybe it's to show that the 1st bird, whenever you bring a carbon, it's to show that this is instead of you.
Why do you need 2?
The 2nd one is showing that you're going free now.
Bir Sadiq. A child is, we learn to think the way we think, and we're stuck in our thoughts. But a person who has a fresh perspective is able to bring out Hidushet Torah. I'm going to take out my pen. No, I don't have it. Where is it? I was going to say you should write it down. But what he's saying might have some truth. Yes, we have to look into the Mefarshim.
When you bring a carbon, it's usually instead of you.
That's
so
true.
why wouldn't you bring 2 bulls and that one free?
Oh, why the birds you need to let go free? 2nd bird. Okay. First of all, why birds? Why do we need to bring birds? So the commentaries explain, because how do you get tzarat? By talking.
Oh.
You chirp. What do birds do all day? You wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Chirp, 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 chirp. In the first 20 minutes, he's speaking about world politics, world economy, this one, that one, this one's coming out, this one's going, all the different things. The birds are chirping all day. Why do you bring a bird, Ron? Because birds are chirping. It's sending you a message. Stop the chirp. That's number 1. Number 2, why do you need the hyssop? Why do you need a little hyssop? It's a little bush. Why do you need it?
Compared to the cedar, like to say you're not to say don't be so, be humble, basically.
Oh, the hyssop's a small plant. It's to show a person, be small, be not small, be humble. And therefore they use the hyssop. Why 2 birds? The Kli Akar and the Zohar HaKadosh suggests something very, very powerful.
Yitzer Hara and Yitzer Tov.
The Zohar writes, Israel, let me do the lecture today, okay? The Zohar writes, 1 bird you bring, you know why? because you spoke wrong. You shouldn't have done it. Second bird, you want to know why? Because that while that you used your speech for negative, you didn't use it for something positive. The Zohar writes that a person's mouth was given to him to arouse the worlds above and arouse the worlds below. Everything was given to your mouth. That while that I'm talking about Ronald and about what a good Jew he is, or Chas v'Shalom the other way, at that moment I was supposed to use my speech for something positive. Instead of using it for positivity, I aroused my speech for something negative. Because of that, I bring the second bird. What do I do with the second bird? I let it go free. What does it mean? Let the speech go. What does that mean? You should have brought speech, good speech to the world. Don't kill the good speech. The second bird represents the good in the world that you didn't bring. You got to bring it in megaleh. You got to reveal that good speech into the world.
So how do we do that in this current time?
Oh.
You're not gonna catch two birds.
Lemala.
And how do you have tzarat on your house? What do you do?
Let's talk soon. 1 second. Let me just 1 second. Okay, my tzaddik.
In od milvado.
Very good.
Take your house in the mikvah.
Now this is a powerful topic. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants is not only that we don't speak bad about other Jews. Hashem is waiting for a Jew to say something good about another Jew. Hashem is waiting for somebody to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look at your children downstairs. Unbelievable. To say something good about another Jew, you have the power to change everything in his life. And not just that, to say something good to a Jew. To bring up the Jew, to pick up the Jew, to say good things to him. This is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to see. There's a Gemara. Listen to the story. There was a great rabbi, his name was Rabbi Bar Shila. Rabbi Bar Shila had Eliyahu Hanavi appear to him. Constantly, frequently. Now, please stop. Now when Eliyahu came, he says, what's Hashem doing right now? He said, what's Hashem doing right now? Hashem is saying lectures in the names of all of the sages. Rabbi Eliezer says this, Rabbi Yoshua says this one says that. In all of the sages, he's saying a shiur, except for one sage. Which sage is he not saying shiur in the name of? The sage of Rabbi Meir. In the name of Rabbi Meir, Hashem is not saying any shiurim. Why is Hashem not saying any shiurim in the name of Rabbi Meir? Because Rabbi Meir's Rabbi was Elisha. So what? Elisha went off the derech. He was one of the 4 people who went, who transcended the spiritual realms. He had an out-of-body experience. He went to the heavenly chariot, to the Merkava, and 4 tzaddikim were able to elevate beyond the realm of material. 3 of them got hurt very bad. Only 1 went in peace and came in peace and nothing happened to him. Who was it? Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was able to transcend and come back unharmed. All the other 3, 1 lost his mind, 1 went off the derech.
How did they lose their mind if that's what they saw, the truth?
He lost his mind. He went meshuga. He fried his circuits.
But like how? Like if he saw the truth.
Because the mind couldn't comprehend it, couldn't handle it.
I'll tell
He
you.
lost his mind like physically? Or
Yes. Physically. Lost it. A discontinuance in the wiring. Yes. One of them
So
went
they
off the
go-
derech, and one of them died.
Who?
Niftar.
Why did the one go off the dirt?
So there's deep Kabbalistic secrets as to what happened.
Why is that his fault?
By the way, we welcome all our viewers. This is open discussion, as you can see, and that's what makes it fun.
Why is it Elisha's fault?
I love shiurs like that, though.
Huh?
Those are the best
Good.
shiurs.
I agree with you. Now, what are we saying?
Sometimes you just can't handle all that pressure. and
Yes, so you have to know,
pressure.
Mashallah, before you draw the Or Hashem onto you, I'll give you a perfect mashal. I was, how old are you?
11?
11. I was once 11, 12. I was his age once upon a time. Maybe 100 years ago. I'm kidding. Could be 100 years ago. I was your age also in the last life. You never know. Now, I was his age once, and my father came home. And I remember when I was maybe 10, 11, he bought me my first PlayStation. Yes, I got a PlayStation. Before then, they had this bootleg, interesting look-alike PlayStation, a little device like, you plugged it in, you have 100 games on it.
It's like a box.
It was like a little thing you connect it, and you connect it to the television, and you had this was before GameCube. This is way before. This is 100. This is some Chinese toy. You know, you ever think?
Yeah.
It's the same idea, just on a screen, on a television screen.
Good job.
You had Mario, you had all the other things, and Od Milvado. Now you had Mario, you had all these other games, and I remember the wire was a little short, so I said, I don't have an extension cord, so what am I gonna do? I walked over, and I went to my telephone, and I said, this wire is exactly the same. I took it off, and I said, this is longer. I plugged it in, and I plugged it into the game, and then guess how long I got to play the game? 0 seconds. Well, as soon as I plugged it in, pah! It blew up. Kaddish Al Israel. Why? The voltage was too much. It couldn't handle it. So sometimes there's a concept that a person is drawing voltage onto the neshama that he's not able to handle. The body's not able to handle it. He needs to be more mizukach. He needs to be more refined. Why do you think the Baba Sali was fasting so many days?
So, but why were they put into that position to accept that amount of voltage?
They chose to go and transcend. They were great people, but there's a level of what you can see and what you cannot see. There are certain spiritual realms that you don't have the heter to go and see. You're not allowed.
Why can't I go?
But doesn't
You're
Hashem,
not allowed to go and transcend. You can call your local Orthodox Jewish Kabbalist and ask him all the questions.
doesn't
I'm
Hashem
a regular.
control that choice?
No,
If
I'll
you
tell
make-
you, the two sons of Aaron died in last week's parasha. Why?
They were too holy.
Yeah, they were too holy and their vessels couldn't.
No, they're gonna die. What am I saying? They passed away in last week's parasha.
They didn't want to get married because
Shemini, they passed away. Not meaning what?
they didn't want to get married because they thought every
You know
girl
why they
was
passed away?
Not enough for them.
Because they drew. When I ask a question, I'm just trying to get you to think.
It's a rhetorical.
Just trying to get you to think.
So what's the
That's
point
all.
of the
I ask a
question?
question just because if I give you
For you to
information.
ponder. You know what pondering means?
Baruch Hashem, en od milvado. Now,
Yes.
the two sons of Aaron, you know why they passed away?
Why?
They passed away because they were drawing and they elevated to where the apex and they couldn't go higher. And they got a choice. If you go higher, you die. And they went higher and they died. What happened to all the Jewish people at Har Sinai? They all died. We all died. Why? Because the voltage was so strong, the light of God came, the glory of God came and took up all the living. And Hashem had to bring back to life all those who are alive. What is it like? When you have a big flame and you put next to it a little flame, it gets absorbed. It unites. And that's the flame. That big flame is a representation of godly light that manifested. Our souls are smaller godly light, and therefore it united and went back to its root, to its shorish. But that's not our topic. Let's go back.
I have a question. When that happened, did that make the Jewish people more holier because they went right
Yes.
back?
Can you check
So
me the
it was
food?
like a
You might deliver
cleansing.
it downstairs.
Yeah, go ahead. Rabbi Meir.
Yeah, basically.
Rabbi Meir. Hashem didn't say teachings in his name. Why didn't Hashem say teachings in his name? You know why? Because Rabbi Meir's rabbi was Elisha. Elisha was acher. He was different. He changed. He went off the derech. And he was learning Torah from him. This is why Hashem doesn't...
While he was off there.
While he was up the derech, he was learning Torah from him. They were even on Shabbat. Elisha's riding a horse. You're not allowed to ride a horse on Shabbat.
Why?
And Rabbi Meir's walking because it's Shvitat Behema. Rabbi Meir's walking behind Elisha. Elisha tells him, stop. You're not allowed to walk past this point. This is Tchum Shabbat. You're not allowed to walk outside of your city limits 2,000 amot on Shabbat. Elisha is on his horse, Mechalel Shabbat, leaving the Tchum of Shabbat, telling him, stop. Atkan, Tchum Shabbat. Here you have to stop because you still keep halacha. He says he's off the derech. Because you learned from Elisha, we're not saying teachings in your name. And listen to what the Gemara says. The Gemara says that when Rami Bar Chama heard that, Rami Bar Shila, he said, I don't understand. He says, he's talking about Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir is pure, holy, elevated. You're right, his teacher is off. But Rabbi Meir found the pomegranate. He took what's on the inside of the pomegranate and he threw away the husk. What is he saying? He says that when Elisha teaches him, he knows what to take, what to hold on to, and what to throw away. He knows how to throw away the husk. And as soon as Rami Bar Shila said those words, says Eliyahu Hanavi, now they started to teach Rabbi Meir's teachings in Gan Eden. Yeah. 5 minutes ago you said in everybody's name you're teaching. In the name of Rabbi Meir you're not teaching. All of a sudden now what happened?
He said good about him.
He said good about Rabbi Meir. Hashem said, now I'm talking about Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir, my son, says X, Y, and Z. Starts speaking sayings of Rabbi Meir. Why? Because one Jew said something good about another. It's an unbelievable thing. You want to bring somebody to Teshuvah? Bring Sanegori on them before God. Say, Hashem, he's a guy in 21st century. The Ta'ava, the Yetzer Hara, it's so great. He comes to Bet Knesset every day. Kadosh Baruch Hu. Have mercy on him. One word, he changes his whole life. You could bring a guy like that to Teshuvah. It all begins with a word. It says the Zohar, 2 birds. Why? First bird, you spoke negative. You brought blemish, damage to the world. Your mouth is here to arouse the world above. Second is you didn't say something positive. You didn't say something good. A mouth of a Jew is supposed to say good about other Jews. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Mibardisho was the Sanegori of Klal Yisrael, would always say good things about Jewish people. When you melamed zechut al Klal Yisrael, say, look, Hashem, you're tzaddikim. They're not in a club. They're not on the street. They're not doing shtuyot. They're not watching television. The Knicks, the Nets, the Jets, the Yankees. They're sitting in shiur. The sushi didn't even come. And they're sitting and they're listening. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mi K'amcha Yisrael. You don't realize how much mercy descends to the world from a simple speech. The Gemara says in Baba Kama, there was a man, his name was Nehunya Hofer Sihim. Nehunya, the digger out of cisterns. A well, a cistern is like a body of water. What would he do? People would come to Jerusalem 3 times a year. They didn't have Poland Spring and Aquafina and Evian and all the other water companies. So what would he do? He would dig out holes and they would fill up. And that way when people came to the pilgrimage and the holiday, they would have water to drink. So he dug out these holes. He would dig out these holes. And all of a sudden, a little girl fell into one of the wells. And they were scared that she passed away. They're looking for her. They're trying to get her out. They can't find her. They can't get her out. They don't know what to do. They come in front of Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa. And he says, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. He continues his lecture. Another hour they came to him. He says, everything's going to be okay. Third hour, he says, okay, now she's getting out. And boom, when they checked, she got out. He said, unbelievable. Why did she get out? We don't know yet. Oh, what did Rabbi Hanina say? Rabbi Hanina said, a man did such a mitzvah, such a kindness. You think a little girl, I think she was even his daughter, I need to double check the story in the Gemara. You think she would fall into the chesed that he did? It's impossible that something bad would come about through such a pure act of mercy. And you know something? The Gemara says that girl survived, but then a boy fell inside. And the question is, why did the boy fall inside? Says the Shita Mekubetzet, because Rabbi Hanina was already not in the world in order to say something positive about the man who dug the well.
Oh, he died before?
He passed away. When the girl fell, Rabbi Hanina was in the world. And he said it's impossible that this tzaddik did such a chesed that his daughter's going to fall inside. And he was right, the girl survived. When Rabbi Hanina passed away, now the son fell inside, he passed away. Why? Because nobody was there to be melamed zechut. Because nobody was in the world to say something positive. To melamed sanegoria. There are angels that want to judge us. Angels cannot judge us. Why? Because we're so pure, we're so holy. You know who judges us?
God.
We judge ourselves. Hashem makes it, says the Baal Shem Tov, that sometimes you see a Jew walks in 8:57 to Shaharit. So what a prishol dvoishnik. Who comes at 8:57? Why did Hashem make you see this? Because in 3 weeks from now, you're also going to come at 8:57. You're going to have all the excuses in the world. And in 6 weeks from now, again, you're going to come at 8:57. You, when you saw that guy at 8:57 walked in, what did you think? Look at this guy, he's so lazy, he doesn't care about Hashem. You judge them negative. You want to know who's judging you? You're judging yourself. How you judge another Jew, that's exactly how they're going to judge you.
At least you came.
Exactly. So if you see him at 8:57, he says, Hashem, what a tzaddik! Hashem, look how much he loves you! By the way, Rabbi Nachman explains you can bring people to Teshuvah like that. I had a student once on Main Street, he was a balagan and a half. He was, forget about it. Baruch shepatarani me'onsho shel zeh, right? Unbelievable. Baruch Hashem. If you know who I'm talking about, it's not you. Now, this student,
I know.
I don't know who I'm talking about myself. Now, no, I said Main Street. Now, this student,
We have JV
he was misbehaving left and right, all problems. And one day I started judging him favorably and saying, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Yetzer Hara that these boys possess, En Kedugmasa, I can't fathom the challenge of an Instagram account, the challenge of a Facebook. I cannot imagine what a minute on TikTok is. 1 minute. You 1 minute, you're watching Rabbi so-and-so, you're getting inspired. The next minute, Gehenom.com, right there on the website. First class ticket. We don't understand what it is to grow up in such a century. And a person is mitgaber. He puts blockages on himself, filters on his phone. He doesn't go on shtuyot. He deletes his Instagram. He's kodesh kodashim. Pure in front of God. Pure and holy and elevated. The world stands on you.
If he doesn't delete, he goes to hell.
Who says this?
That's what it sounds like.
A boy, 1 minute, he's about to go on. He says, not now, I'm going to go on an hour from now, or 5 hours from now, or 10 hours from now, or to a week, I'm not going to go on. And then he goes on. That week he's pure, he's holy, he's like an angel of God.
What about that time?
Do we understand what it means to be an angel of God?
I used to have filter on my phone.
Now listen to this.
What happened?
Hashem wants that we judge each other favorably. He's waiting for the psak to come out from our mouth. Just like the story with Eliyahu Hanavi and Rabbi Bar Shila. And also with Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, when you say something positive, you're able to change the reality of another Jew. And I tell you, we'll take this a little bit to a drift. We all want good children. We all want good spouses. We all want good in our life.
Is that Hashem?
You know, if you call somebody a name, a bad name, you know what happens Kabbalistically?
Like a nickname?
A bad name. You call him lazy, you call him this, you call him that. You arouse that negative energy inside of him. You call him lazy, you're making him more lazy. You call him foolish, you're making him more foolish. You arouse that spiritual energy inside of him via what you say. So therefore, when you call your son, I was never called any of the animals, Baruch Hashem, but some of my peers were called all of the Hayot HaKodesh. All of the heavenly bodies, they were called. I don't want to specify. Baruch Hashem, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that. You're arousing that bad energy inside the person via your speech. You want a child to behave? Call him a tzaddik. Call him righteous. Call him smart. You call somebody smart, he's going to be smart. You call somebody responsible, he's going to be responsible. You call somebody a tzaddik, he's going to be a tzaddik. But if you call somebody Rasha, you're arousing that bad light inside of him, that darkness inside of him, you're arousing inside of him. You want your wife to be righteous? You want your wife to be modest? Say, what, my tzniut wife came. Say something positive. Say something elevated. You're able to change the reality of a person. How am I able to change the reality? With my speech. I said, Ben HaTzadik. And you know what I accomplished at that time? I aroused that energy of tzaddik inside of him. But if I, the same person, say, what on prishol, and what on takoy, and what on taksikoy, I arouse bad angels, bad energies inside of him. That's why it says the Torah, you take one bird, you slaughter it. That's for the bad that you brought into the world, you got to slaughter it. Don't say bad in the world. The second bird, you dip it. And what? Why a bird? Because birds chirp all day. You shouldn't have chirped. But where shouldn't I have chirped? The bad bird gets slaughtered. The good bird, you let go. Why do you let it go? Because you got to bring it into the world. Let the words manifest into the world. Don't keep good, positive words in yourself. People are stingy with good words, with compliments, but we're rich with criticisms. Your son gets up late, criticism right away. Your daughter gets a bad grade on her test, criticism right away. Your sister, your brother, it's so easy to criticize, to say bad words to them. Why don't you pay attention? And you're not good, and you're like this. You know what you're doing at that moment? You're arousing bad energy inside of them. But if that same sister, you say to her, I love how tsanua you are. I love how generous you are. I love that you share all the time. Even though it's hard for her to share. Say, I love how you share all the time. You're arousing that energy of sharing inside of her. You say, I love how generous you are. You know what you're doing? You're not just programming, it's psychology. You're arousing that spiritual light of generosity inside of him. That's what the Zohar writes, that second bird, let it go into the world, because your mouth was created to arouse heavenly lights. When there's judgment in the world, don't get up and say, Hashem, your children are sinners. Eliyahu Hanavi did that, and Hashem said, I don't like it. You're not allowed to proclaim the Jewish people sinners. You have to proclaim them righteous. Hashem, your children are righteous. There is no nation like us in the world. There is no tzniut in the world like us, the Jewish people. Nobody. Not the lady with her glow-in-the-dark burqa.
Islam?
There is no pajhalasta. There is no nation in the world that is like Am Yisrael. It's impossible. There's no purity in the world like Am Yisrael. Please don't say extra comments. Okay, now there's a story with Gid'on ben Yoash. Gid'on was a regular person. Gid'on was a regular person. He wasn't from such an illustrious family. He was one of the Shoftim. Gid'on is sitting grinding his wheat, and an angel appeared before him. And he says to the angel, he says, I don't understand something. What don't I understand? Our fathers told us God took us out of Egypt. And God cares about us and we're elevated. That promise of our fathers, we're deserving. Where is it? He spoke good about the Jewish people. You know what the angel said? Lech b'kochacha, go with his power, ve'oshata et Israel, and go rescue the Jewish people. He became a shofet, he rescued the Jewish people. Who was this Gidon? What does it mean our fathers told us? When did our fathers teach us? Our fathers taught us on the night of Pesach. You know what Gidon was? A Yeuch. Sorry for saying. It was not a scholar even. And what? Because he spoke Sanegoria, he spoke positivity about the Jewish people. He drew down this concept of positivity for Kulal Israel. The angel said, you're going to go and redeem my people. Why? Because Hashem wants us to say positive things. Let's go back to Moses now. Moshe comes onto the scene and Hashem says, Moshe, I love you. Go take out my children. What does the Torah tell us? Veheno ya'aminu li. They're not going to believe me. Hashem says, oh, Beseder, stick your hand into your pocket, into your bosom, whatever it is. Take it out. What is it? Mitzorat kashalek. It was white, like a leper. What happened to you, Moshe? Why are you all white? What's the answer? Moshe spoke Lashon Hara. But more than that, you should have said something good about my children. you should have said something positive about the children of Israel. Because when we melamed Zanegoria, when we melamed Zechut on Klal Israel, we arouse chesed, we arouse mercy onto the children of Israel, and you shower bracha onto the whole world. When you say to your wife, my dear wife, you're such a tzanua, you arouse that energy inside of her. When you say to your child, you're so zariz, I love how you break your laziness every time, you're so zariz. You with alacrity. That child's getting up 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Well, you arouse the koach hazrizut inside of him. Our words are powerful. That second bird is here to teach you a lesson. You didn't bring positivity into the world. Your mouth is here to arouse the world above and to arouse in this world. And that's the first lesson of Parashat Metzorah. The Torah tells us that he has to come to a Kohen. Why do you have to come to a Kohen?
Wasn't he trained to do that?
Why did you have to come to
His son did something.
You know what a Kohen is?
Priest, high priest.
You know why? Tumecha ve'orecha leish hasidech. Kohen is chesed. He's an energy of kindness. He's an energy of positivity. He's an energy of Aharon HaKohen ve'ra'acha ve'samach belibo. He will see you. He's going to rejoice in seeing you, Moses. You know what it means? That I'm able to say good about the Jewish people. I'm able to be melamed sanegoria al the Jewish people. I'm able to elevate the Jewish people with my speech. Go to a Kohen. You know why you go to a Kohen? Because your problem is you're always negative. Vota prishol, Vasya. Vota prishol, I don't know what, lapuch, chalpak, whatever he is. Excuse my language. Right? Negative. When you're negative, you call that guy stingy and that guy this and that guy that. You're arousing darkness in the world. Hashem wants to see positivity in the world. Hashem says that when you say positive things about the world, you're bringing kindness in the world, you're arousing kindness in the world, and I'm going to shower you with blessings. You know why a Kohen blesses us? Because a Kohen has that power of positivity. He has that power to find a blessing inside of you. So therefore, we have to learn from the Kohanim that what to find that power of positivity, not to be stingy with our words, to give compliments. Say you're a big tzaddik.
I know.
And you're humble.
I know. I'm the humblest guy.
Yeah. Now, so that's the idea of why we go to a Kohen. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen. Amen. Where's our sushi?